This is before welfare. So the black man would run from the responsibility because he can't provide. He doesn't really know how to be a father. He doesn't know how to be a husband. He really don't know how to be a man in this system because everything that they say is manhood, he can't get access to. What's up, y'all? It's Jay here, your accountability coach and ghetto psychologist, and it is my life's purpose to do what? Get black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. We gotta get real today. I'm real in every video, but this one, this is going to be some content that is powerful, meaningful, but also going to just shift the paradigm a little bit. So it's going to make people uncomfortable. It's also going to be informing, enlightening. So dating while black, the feminine perspective. This is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the feminine perspective, the black feminine perspective of dating against the odds of sexism, classism, and racism in America. I'm creating this because I feel like in the current time that we are living in, there's a huge shift going on in this world between men and women in general, but especially in the black community, you can see the deficit in connection that black men and black women have with each other. And if we're going to come together, there's going to have to be some changes. It's just simply put, we can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. That's literal insanity. And if you're looking out at this fucking world and you think that everything is okay, that things that don't need to be changed, I don't know what to tell you. Go be ignorant and blissful over there. The people who are rooted in reality, we need to know what's going on and we need to know what differences need to be made. And this is why stuff that I say is challenging, because I think a lot of y'all again have rose-colored glasses, and this is why I named my book Thorn to the Eye, because a lot of y'all have rose-colored glasses. Anytime y'all are confronted with the truth, you don't like to hear it, but you also know that something is wrong with with this world, but you're not willing to realize what it is, because then you'll learn that you've been complicit or adding to it. We all are. That's okay. But you got to be accountable towards that. And I'm creating this because as a woman, a black woman, this is my feminine perspective, but I'm not speaking for every black woman, but I'm going to be speaking for the majority. Most of y'all are going to relate to what I'm about to say. But me creating this is not to be divisive. It's just to spread awareness and for us to have our own accountability, because I'm not saying this is someone who has not done these things that I'm about to mention. I'm saying this from a first-hand perspective. The mistakes and some of the good things that we do as black women, okay? If you can listen to Shira 7, big shout out to her, Sprinkle, if you can listen to her, you damn sure can listen to me. Because what I'm saying is not going to be too different of a perspective that she has, but at the same time, I'm not really into hypergamy, but I shout out the girls that are. I don't care about the man with money. I'm the man with money. Anywho, I want you to understand that this is going to be a black American female perspective. Let me be clear, because I am a black American female, but some of my other people will relate. The gays, the theys, the girls should relate to some of this too. But our history in dating as black American feminine people, females specifically, is tainted, right? Because the first black female here was in chains, just like some of the primary people. The community that came here was likely in chains. So under bondage, we typically were not dating. And if we were dating, it was in secret, and it was not the same standard of dating that white people had, because white people had to account for things such as assets. If we historically in general look at the foundation of marriage, it was always a business, and it was always about maintaining assets, the acquiring of assets. So that being said, going back to our history, being enslaved, marrying in secret, marrying solely for love, because we did not have to account for assets. Then you have to take an account from there when we would procreate consensually, because a lot of black American procreation was not consensual. Sure, your grandmother, your great grandmother might have been consenting to the man she was with, but further back, likely not so much. But when it was consensual and then you had these families on these plantations, there was always the threat of separation, and a lot of times the separation occurred. So our black family structure in general has been dismantled on a mental and emotional level, because we have to understand with epigenetics, a lot of our mindsets have been passed down, even if it was not verbalized to us, even if it might not have been physically modeled to us. Some of us just end up picking up on some of our ancestors' emotions, mindsets, spirits, so to speak. So you have to consider this aspect that we don't have a familiarity with when it comes to dating, which is, again, assets, because we were marrying for love. And then you have the black woman who understands the black man's plight, so she can't really measure his manhood against white manhood, because it would be an unfair measurement, right? So what does the black female do? She coddles a lot. She tries to make her man feel like a man without all the other aspects of manhood that the white man has literally made in this world as a standard. So she's like, oh, okay, it's okay that he doesn't have anything. Y'all see where I'm going? It's okay he doesn't have anything. He loves me. I love him. I like him. I'm accept him as he is, no matter what. And it was okay. It worked back then because you didn't really have that much of a choice. But this same mindset has carried in the black community, in black women, and we're accepting the bare minimum because sadly, that's all we think black men can give us. I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I know that's uncomfortable to hear, but I mean, it's true because, again, historically, and if we consider epigenetics, if we consider psychology, right, biology, you have to understand this mindset is passed down, this pathology is in our community and where it started from. Now, when we get older, we get free. Right? Now we have the modern woman who, I don't want to go too far into things, but we know now the modern woman, she takes care of herself well. She does not need a man to have anything, right? But also we have to consider with black women, we never needed a man to have anything because we just couldn't have anything because we were black. Forget even us being females, because consider still when we look at white women couldn't have shit either just because they were women. Their whiteness didn't give them that much, put it like that. Of course, it gave them freedom, but to a certain extent, because they were really the first slave of the white man, white women. Oops. Yep. So, because again, sexism been here longer than racism. Y'all ain't gotta believe me. The facts are there. So let's move on from our history to just dating while black right now in current times, or even if we just go back to the 1950s, before welfare was introduced to the black family. Yeah, welfare was in America, but was not to the black family. Black people couldn't get on welfare until like the 1960s or something. I'll make sure I put the actual accurate thing here when I edit. All right, so black women historically, outside of slavery, once we became free during the Reconstruction around the 1920s, a lot of black people were getting married because it was legal for us to do so. So you would see so many high numbers of black women getting married, higher than white women, just because now we could, right? But again, what we didn't really consider in our marriage, which we did not really realize that the foundation of marriage from the beginning was business, right? Because the white people ain't gonna teach us that. Even though we could look at Massa and Mrs., quote unquote, and see that they did not marry for love, they married for convenience. We were marrying for love, not convenience. So once we finally got out into the world and we realized, oh, we don't really know who we are outside of being enslaved, we don't understand how marriage works in this system, black men realized, oh, they couldn't really contribute to the household because they were pushed out of the workforce way harder than black women, because black men were painted by the KKK as violent R-worders. So they didn't want them working, and especially around their children and their wives. But the black woman, yeah, she can work. So they automatically flipped our roles immediately out the gate. And when I say our roles, even though I don't believe in gender roles, the system does have roles. So when you are stepping outside of the system's roles, it already puts you at a disadvantage because the women in general were not supposed to be working.
The white man would stop and realize and think that the black man feel the same about his wife as he feel about his. I think it would be a better understanding too. The black man don't want his wife to get up and go to work every morning and punch a time card right along with him. He wants his wife home just like the white man wants his wife at home.
But you got the black woman working, and you got the white man working. You see what I'm saying? What they did? Follow me. So now you have this flip-flop structure in our household. You got the black man, he's at home, but him looking at the white master and how he operated with his woman, he feels like he's supposed to still operate like that, even though the system won't allow him to work like the white man.
The black women feel that their black men is not men anymore because they have lost their dignity. You know what I'm talking about? You take a black man, if he can't afford to go down to the store and buy a quart of milk, that makes a man feel like he's not no more man. Black man come in and his wife feel that he can't go buy her a decent dress. That takes something from that man, just like you or anybody else would feel same way. But this is what the black people have to contend with. This takes some of the dignity from a man.
So the roles are flopped. The black man is at home, but he still thinks that he is supposed to have the same behaviors and mindset and attitude as the white man. You see where I'm going? So we have to deal with this role reversal, the mindset that comes with that, and on top of being marginalized and oppressed by this system in general. So we got all of these things stacked up against us, and what typically happens is the black man ran.
Say during that time things were so hard when I was a kid that most fathers would just desert the mother, or they were having babies so fast and they didn't know how to stop until the father would just get disgusted and just up and leave. That was the only thing he knew to do.
This is before welfare. So the black man will run from the responsibility because he can't provide. He doesn't really know how to be a father. He doesn't know how to be a husband. He really don't know how to be a man in this system because everything that they say is manhood, he can't get access to. Y'all see where we at? Now, as a woman, you, a black woman, you likely don't care about that. You love him anyway for who he is. But he doesn't know how to love himself in this system because, again, like I said, what's manhood he's not getting access to. So he doesn't know who he is because he can't be a man in this system. How can he love you properly? How can you really love him properly, even though you claim to? Sometimes you might, as women, we do this. Sometimes you might throw up in his face a little bit that he is inadequate right now. And I'm not making excuses for black men. This is not me making excuses for them. This is me being real. They have a lot that is stacked up against them with this system, just like we do. But we got to realize that this is intentional. And I'm not here to tell you as a woman to love these black men anyway, because I can't. I can rightfully with my chest say I can't love black men in the current state that some of them are in. I have tried. I refuse to get beat up, literally and figuratively, just because a lot of black men are falling and because the system is failing them. You got to dig your way out. As hard as it is, you got to find a way to dig yourself out, because I am not the black woman that's going to ride or die for you. I've tried. It don't work for me. So I'm just going to sit back and let y'all do y'all thing. But I'm telling you as women too, just because this video is to women, we have to recognize the ways that the system is stacked up against them. Some of us do, but some of us don't, because we are consistently getting with men who we know we are dating down, so to speak, and we're throwing up in their face. I'm not saying this is all of us. I know it's not a lot of us, but there are some. And we're throwing up in our face that we're doing better and they're inadequate because they can't do what we do. I don't like it, but I also don't like that some black men don't try. So I'm being real. Now, dating while being a black feminine being, you have to deal with the sexism, the gender roles, which are, like I said, reversed. And you got to deal with classism, because black women are still more likely to be poor. Even though we're doing so well as a group, there's still another end of the spectrum that's not. That's still very impoverished. That's still working $13, $15 an hour job, which we know ain't shit. No disrespect, but it's just not. It's not survivable. So we have to know that when you are still dating like that, typically that woman is going to date either a man who is right across from her making the same amount, or if she's lucky, he making a little bit more. But it's still not enough. So when you date someone who is also just as impoverished with you as you got to deal with the psychology that comes with being impoverished or growing up impoverished. In America, social mobility is damn near impossible. If you're born poor, you're likely going to die poor. What happens is there's a mindset. Poor people are likely to be in abusive environments because they are predisposed to it. There's been studies with this when I think there was a study, I don't know the name of the study, but it was a group of rats who they watched when the resources, the food and everything, it was scarce, how violent they turned. So scarcity creates violence in humans just like it does in those rats. So that's what happens, and you'll have these impoverished couples who are very abusive to each other, verbally or physically or both. And then you have children that grow up and see it. So you become used to abuse because it's typical when you are coming up in poverty. This is not just limited to black women. Of course, anybody who's impoverished is typically going to deal with abuse. Sadly, it's just the system. It's just the world. But when you are predisposed to abuse, even early on as children with your parents, you're going to typically flock to somebody who is a partner that's also abusive. Now, dealing with the sexism is even harder. That was classism, but we dealing with sexism is even harder because I find as a black woman, I can't feel safe around a lot of black men because a lot of black men try to undermine who the fuck I am. They don't appreciate the foresight a lot of black women or women in general have. So they dismiss us a lot. They don't like the feelings. They just like the coochie. You'll get men all the time. They love pussy. I love pussy. I love pussy. But do you love women? And even the men who say they love women, you don't love everything about us because you're going to find something to complain about. If you're a nigga that complain about weaves, makeup, nails, stuff that women like that's related to femininity, you don't like women, bruh. And this is why I always make a joke, like everything y'all say just sounds like y'all don't like women, y'all just like coochie. Why don't y'all just date a trans man? At least the coochie's there and you got a whole man. I'm just saying, if you love pussy so much, go date you a trans man. Too much? All right, let's get into the statistics real quick because I want to also eliminate misconceptions out there that black women are undesirable. We don't get married. The thing is, black women get married. We get married later in life. And also, black men don't out-marry us, so to speak. They just get married more times. So, for example, for one black man, he might get married 3 times to one black woman's 1 time. So it looks like black men are getting married more, but they also get divorced more. Yeah, black men are more divorced than black women, and white women are more divorced than black women.
Almost 45% less likely to get a divorce if he marries a black woman than if he marries a white woman. It's actually shocking that it's that high. Marriages including a black husband and a white wife were more prone to divorce than those composed of black husbands and black wives. So black men are the best off with black women, and they're the worst off of any racial pairing. So Hispanic and black, white and black, white and Hispanic, Asian and Hispanic, out of all the pairings, a black man and a white woman are the least successful statistically. White women are most likely to have a marriage end in divorce than any other race of women. And that's where I get into how it is beneficial for white women to know this. And it's nothing that we should be like offended by or anything like that. Again, these are statistics. People have lives that go against statistics every day. Now, here's another similarity between white men and black women. Black women make the least amount when they're with a black man. A white man makes the least amount of money when he's with a white woman.
So again, white women get married more times than black women. Does not mean that they get married more like how y'all think, like more black women, more numbers. I mean, more white women, more numbers of them. It's not necessarily that. It's just that they get married more times. Shit, y'all know who Elizabeth Taylor, how many times that bitch was married? 6 times? Who was doing that many times? For what? Why am I continuing to wait? I feel like after 2 marriages, that's it. You need to cut it out. If you can't last for 2 marriages for your entire life, maybe the third person just needs to be your life partner. Fuck that type of paperwork, because marriage, because getting divorced twice is a nightmare. I couldn't imagine. So for me, I wouldn't even want to go through a third. I don't care about the breakup. Breakup is different than a divorce. Anywho, I might get a little long-winded on this part because this is the meat and potatoes. This is the common mistakes that women make, black women make while dating. This is women in general, but I want to really limit this to black women because there's some things I feel like we do. I don't want to say more. It's just heightened the way that we do it. And I don't like it. So one of those things is being clingy. My God, today. Now, again, I feel like this is not limited to black women, but the way I see black women be clingy and just act like a man is really supposed to just make her his end all be all. That's very problematic to me because, girl, get a hobby. What that tells me, if you want to be your man's everything, is that you want him to be your everything. And no person should be your everything, because every relationship ends. I know it's very cynical, but every relationship ends, whether it's to life or death, meaning life, you just grew apart or something happened and you just can't be together anymore, or someone perishes. When you develop a codependent relationship, it's very symbiotic. It means that you are really dependent on this person for your daily nourishment. But that's fickle. Humans are fickle. You can't depend on a human 100% for nothing. You can depend on a human to be who they are 100%, but you can't depend on them to be there for you every waking moment for everything that you need. It's just not realistic. So I want you guys to be in realism, and I want you to separate yourself sometimes from your significant other. It's okay to talk every day, but just because he didn't answer the text message or answer the phone when you called don't mean he don't love you. Let that man breathe. I don't like it. It's very, I don't even want to say insecure because y'all hate that word, but everybody's insecure about something. But it is very insecure. I don't know what else to call it. Like, please get a hobby, get a life. For real. Make time for other things. Doesn't have to be him. And again, that relates back to insecurities, because a lot of times people are clingy for certain insecurities. It might not even be that you think that your man gonna cheat on you. Excuse me. You might just feel like any degree of separation, it just reminds you of abandonment. Maybe you have abandonment issues. Maybe you don't have a secure attachment style. So you think that your man not being up under you 24/7 just indicates that they don't like you, or they're moving away from you, they about to leave for whatever reason. Just chill. You know, you got to be okay with if that is the reason. Maybe that is. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying you got to be okay with that. You got to make peace with that. Any relationship is going to end, and a lot of times it's more likely it will end to life than it will to death. We got to learn to make peace with that. And then once you make peace with that, then you can understand the separation for what it really is, and not have this fear-based attachment where you're like, well, he's separating from me, so that means that we're going to break up. And you just know that for sure. At least you'll be able to see it for what it is if you make space for maybe that is the reason. Or maybe it's just that this person that you're dating is going through something. Or maybe it's just that this person is busy, bitch. You're not their end all be all. Men don't really center their lives about their women. And men who do scare me, because I need my man to be busy. I need my man to make money. I need my man to be a man. To me, that means, yes, busy, doing things, delegating tasks, being somewhat of a helpmate to me, even away from me. That's what that mean to me. Next thing is high expectation, low standards. A lot of black women have a lot, and this is not just black women, but black women do it the most. What I see, low standards. I'm sorry, but high expectations. So again, like I said, it's a pathology that's been passed down for us to accept the bare minimum from black men, because we believe that that's all they can give. We accept the mediocrity because we don't think bigger enough of them that we could expect more. Some of us are starting to wake up and expect more, But a lot of us don't think that they can give it. It might be true, but they got to rise to the occasion or be left behind. That's just how I see it. And I see that that's how a lot of women are starting to see it. But with these low standards, high expectations, you get these Pookies and these Ray Rays, and you think that you can build them up into these, instead of Ray Ray, just calling him Raekwon. I don't know what y'all trying to upgrade these men to, but y'all try. So you date down with the intention of making these men into projects. And these men, they know that, they feel it. And they don't like how I feel, because they like, bitch, I want you to respect me, and expect me to be who I am all the time. Now again, some of these men don't want to change, and I don't like men that don't want to change. I do expect that every relationship you get in, you're going to change in one way or another, whether you like it or not. But I'm not trying to make the change feel like force, right? But a lot of women go into these relationships and they make the change that they want feel like forcing these men into being who these men didn't sign up to be. Y'all fall in love with potential, and potential is fallacy. It's fake. It's not real. It doesn't exist. Potential is what you want this person to be, not who they said they wanted to be. And then even if it's who they said they wanted to be, you can't make them be it. They have to be it on their own. So a lot of women go into these relationships thinking that their love is going to save and change these men. And then when these men don't change, they think that these men don't love them. I'm not here to say that they do or they don't, but they think that these men don't love them. Sometimes they still love you. It's just that they don't want to change. It's not in them yet. You're not the catalyst, and that's okay. It is okay. And there is only one way you could deal with someone who won't change, especially if what they're doing is a deal breaker, and that's to leave them. You cannot make people change. Now, you can either change the environment of the situation, meaning you leave them alone, or you change your tolerance level. You got to make whatever they're doing be more and more tolerant. You got to be more tolerant towards it if you want to keep them in your life, because obviously they're not changing. But then you feel like you're rejecting yourself. So this is the issue that a lot of black women have, women in general, of course, but we talk about black women. And it's this, like I said, this high expectation of this person to become who you want them to be. You date down with expectations of it being a fucking Tyler Perry movie. Girl, that's fantasy. It's very rare that black women date down and it is an advantage. You see it. We see it. It doesn't work for us. And it's not necessarily that it's always us. Like I said, now sometimes it is. But what I found in my experience, again, I'm speaking from my experience. Now I can know I'm speaking for a lot of women, but I'm speaking from my experience. When I used to date down, I don't really date at all anymore, but when I used to date down, which was often, wasn't all my boyfriends or people that I dated, but it was a lot. What I would find is these men would feel inferior, even if I didn't make them feel inferior. Because again, they have this same ideology, going back to what I said earlier in the video, of I don't know how to be a man because I don't have access to those things that white men have that make them a man. Because men in this world, their standard of manhood is set by white men. They set all the fucking rules. So you got this black man who can't achieve wealth or enough money to appeal to women, or he doesn't have certain life skills that's appealing to women, or women are just dick dumb, and he might not have none of that, but because he got good wood, good penis, good charm, she's going to make excuses because she has what? Low standards. But there's the problem, that high expectation. She coming through thinking her coochie gonna make this man be a better man. That's our problem that we have to own. Another problem, and mistakes that feminine beings make, is losing your identity in a relationship. There's nothing more irritating than a woman. Now I know when you get in a relationship, you might get a little distant from your friends. I make space for that because I know how I am when I get in a relationship. But when you completely eliminate your friends because you have this man, and all of your world again becomes centered on this man, and it might not even be an abusive relationship, even though that is a sign, but it might be a healthy relationship, and both of y'all might be equally almost as obsessed with each other. You begin to just mirror your entire life based on him. You make decisions solely based on him being in your life. There has to be a happy medium. You have to, again, like I said, you can't get into that clinginess, even if he's equally as clingy, because you're going to look around after a few years and your friends are gonna go on and you ain't gonna know shit about them, and then you gonna feel away when you find out your friend got this going on and they didn't invite you to this and that, girl, because you a Billy ass all the time. And if Billy don't want to come, you not gonna want to come. And why should I keep inviting you if you not gonna come? Because Billy don't want to intermingle with your friends for whatever reason. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, even though it can be a bad sign. But I'm just saying, in these situations, you need to learn how to just leave Billy at the fucking house and go be with your friends. Y'all don't have to mix friends. Personally, I don't really want to mix friends with the people I date. I mean, eventually, sometimes, it happens, but for the most part, we can keep them separate. We can keep them separate, but, everybody come together for certain events, but we don't have to, Billy, you don't always have to come with me to my friend's house. That's the issues. Then you stop doing the things that made you. You don't practice your hobbies anymore. You fall out of love with that because now you're so in love with Billy. The next one, the next big mistake. Woo! This one, oh my God. Not asking the right questions. Y'all don't ask these motherfuckers nothing.
They called you a felon.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Are you a felon?
I am.
Yes, you are
Trying to
y'all don't ask them what they see themselves doing in the next 10 years, or maybe you do, maybe because that's such a common question, but you don't ask them what marriage is like for them. You don't ask them what they think about certain world issues. I think a lot of y'all don't ask these men because y'all are afraid of the answer. You're afraid that he's going to show you that intellectually y'all are not compatible. So you would like to keep the fucking conversation surface level. But when you ask these questions, this is how you get to know if this man is going to do certain things in the future. You can have foresight very early on in a relationship if you ask the right question. And you can't be afraid to have the tough conversations. You can't be afraid to ask them what they think about abortion, what they want from a marriage, what they think about poly, what they think about threesomes, what they think about the stuff that you don't. Are they homophobic, transphobic? Have they ever dealt with another man? Y'all don't want to ask them these questions because you fear losing that lust, that initial lust that you have. You so, again, dick dumb that you like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he got 5 kids and 5 baby mamas. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to ask him about that. I'm not going to press him because that's in the past. That's what y'all do. I'm pressing, especially if you got that many. First of all, let me tell y'all, just real quick. I tell this story very often because I almost can't believe the gall of a man who had 8 fucking kids. He had 8 kids trying to holler at me. And I'm like, no, baby, I can't. You're a liability. You too reckless with that dick. And he had a big one. And he almost SA'd me, virtually SA'd me because he sent me a D-Peak and I didn't ask for one. And it was big. I ain't gonna hold you. I see why he had them 8 kids, but at the same time, I'm like, you definitely a liability. You moving way reckless. I don't want it. Nasty. Gross. I was grossed out. And that is a huge red flag. It grosses me out. I don't care. I'm not that lustful. And that's moving on to the next one. Ignoring the red flags. That's a huge red flag. Y'all ignore that. Some of y'all would just go. Now, if I was in a certain mindset where I could have just made him my boy toy, I would have did that. But I wasn't. I already had a boy toy that was good, so I was like, I'm not finna. I'm trying to. If I'm going to bring another person into the fold, he has to be a good man, Savannah, and he got to be the next. Cause I already got a boy toy too. That was at that time. Now I don't have no boy toys. I'm done with that lifestyle right now. Right now. Could happen again, but I'm just like, no, I'm not. No liabilities. So we have to stop making excuses. So do these women who, I didn't even ask how many baby mamas he had because it didn't matter. Once you have 8 kids, it don't matter. You could have had 1 baby mama. I don't want to deal with it. But the thing is this though, when y'all make excuses for men like this, you're not the only one. These women keep making excuses and they don't change. They don't change because like I said, the only way you can make somebody change is by leaving them. Most of the time. If enough women are like me and tell him no, I don't want to fuck with you because you got too much going on. I don't care how big your dick is. I don't want you. If more women would reject these certain type of men, and he was very charming, they wouldn't feel like they got the sauce. Y'all gave them the sauce because y'all are so desperate. And that's all I can chalk it up to is desperation. Because there's no way that after his third child, a woman should have just kept going. I would have been saying, though, nah, absolutely not. But y'all keep going. That's y'all problem. Then the next thing is the overexerting yourself, which goes back to this low insecurity that a lot of y'all have. Y'all want to consistently prove yourselves because the patriarchy tells women you gotta fight to prove your love when it's really supposed to be men fighting to prove they love to you. But y'all wanna overexert yourselves, do things that these men don't ask, or maybe they try to manipulate you into doing without asking outright. Oh, I sure do need something to I sure ain't got nowhere to stay tonight. I sure do need this bill paid. They do that and y'all bitches, I can do it for you, baby. Okay, you are tricking. You tricking. I thought men supposed to be tricking. Y'all be like, where the men's? Who gonna be the men? Y'all being the men to the men. Y'all being the men to the men. And now here we are, women like me, just like I can't. I'm doing a little overexerting, but y'all doing a lot. And now I'm just sitting here like I can't compete with that. I don't want to because my self-worth is way too high. I got too many high expectations and high standards. I got both of them. I kind of lower my expectations a little bit and heighten my standards, but they still high. Both of them still high. Cause I got high expectations for myself, so I can't not do that for other people. So we fight to prove our worth, prove our love, right? But we don't fight like men do. We just fight by just doing too much, becoming tricks. And then next, we like to over glamorize relationships. We like to make the world believe that our relationship is better than what it is. See, what I've come to understand is men want people to think that their woman is amazing, but they can paint the relationship as flawed. But women don't mind the world thinking that their man isn't amazing as long as the relationship looks perfect. If the relationship looks perfect on the outside, women are satisfied. If the woman looks perfect on the outside, men are satisfied. You get what I'm saying? So it's two different viewpoints that we have when it comes to how the world looks at our relationship. So we over glamorize as women because opposite of men, we don't want people to think our relationship is bad, even if it might be. Men don't care if you think the relationship is bad, as long as you don't think your woman bad. She got to be a good woman. I might put her through so much, but she is a good woman. She stood beside me. She didn't never cheat. She ain't never fold. That's what their pride is. Meanwhile, a woman's pride is my relationship looking perfect? Do it look like he treat me well or not? He could be a bad man, but is he treating me well? That's what matters. Y'all see where I'm going? I'm not cooking. Some of y'all feel me. All right, we get into the end. So that leads me to the no boundaries. Y'all don't have no boundaries. Y'all don't tell these men what y'all want up front. Y'all don't tell these men what y'all dislike when y'all see it. Y'all just shut down. Y'all don't verbalize. Y'all don't communicate. Men do the same thing, but we talking about women because women do it just as much. Even though women try to act like they're just best communicators in the fucking world, y'all do not be straightforward. Y'all think that men are supposed to read your minds. No. When I don't like something, I say it immediately. That's why a lot of men think I'm problematic. Hell, might be why I'm single, because I'm not going to shut the fuck up. You play around me, bitch. I'm going to say you're playing. You don't like that I'm saying you're playing? Then stop fucking playing. You can't stop fucking playing? Then I'm going to stop playing. That means I'm gone. Poof. Be gone. I miscut that bitch off. It ain't nothing to cut that man. I will cut him off. Because it's only so much I can take at this point in my life. The longest relationship I have had in my 30s was about 4 months. I done had some long situationships. But when they get into the real relationship, you committing, oh, no, you can't play around me. And I have no shame in saying that because y'all be playing and I don't. So when I say that you playing and you want to make excuses and you try to gaslight me, red flag, I'm out the door. Red means stop. So I be gone and I just don't take no shit because I have high standards and high expectations. And every time I lessen my standards just a little bit, my high expectations come through and help me out. Cause it's like, oh no, he ain't gonna meet the expectation. We tried to go a little lower on the standards cause I be trying to be lenient and have grace. I just can't do it no more. So that's why I am by myself. All right, and then we have the issue of leading with sex. I know sex is amazing. I ain't had sex in 2 years and counting. It's been over 2 years actually, but it's like, oh my God, I love sex, right? And I had this problem. I've had all these problems, like I said, but I led with sex. I did because I am still the type of person, even though I haven't had sex, I'm still the type of person that one of my number one questions is we cannot you? Are you? Because if you, then I can be in a relationship with you. If I can't, there's no way I can be in a relationship with you. I can't do it. So for me, that was just where I went with it. But now hey, yeah, that question is very important. Once I figure that out, I gotta be able to clink, lock it down a little bit, and then figure out if I can be in a relationship with you. Because I don't want to lead with that anymore. Not because I don't want to, and not because I'm waiting for marriage. I might not even be waiting for a commitment, but I'm waiting to see if I even can commit. Are you worth committing to, and is it mutual? So yeah, we got to be able to withhold a little bit better as women, because as women, biologically, not all of us, but some of us have a propensity more than men to fall in love due to the hormones that are released when we have sex. Oxytocin is higher level in women after having sex, which causes us to attach to these men through sex. Me, not so much. That's why I said not every woman, because that never really happened to me. That not that often. I ain't saying never, but not that often. But for a lot of women, it happens. So we have to be a little bit more careful and not lead with sex. And then lastly, one of the hugest mistakes is just not understanding femininity. We don't understand, because the world shuns femininity from all beings, even feminine born people. We don't understand what that interaction looks like with a true masculine. Femininity is not the opposite of masculinity. It is complementary. So what that means is, as a woman, you should allow men to do things for you. And a lot of black women, more than other women, don't do that. We are not comfortable asking for help. We're not comfortable accepting charity because we don't want to look like or feel like a burden to other people. Girl, fuck that. I'll be anybody's burden. I'm at a point in my life where I've done so much work for the world, for other people, that I don't mind anybody giving me anything, male or female. You want to give it to me, I deserve it. It's always my mindset. I don't say no to any time anybody gives me something. I accept it. It's the blessing that I deserve. So if it's a man that come around here trying to help me, I'm going to accept it. I know a lot of women feel like I'm not accepting anything because he's going to have an expectation. Girl, tell him no. Tell him no. You didn't ask him to do it unless you ask him to do it. And he's like, well, what you going to do for me? That's a bargain. But if he just volunteered, you didn't ask, bitch, you don't owe him nothing. I've had to tell a lot of women this, even people close to me. Let these men do what the fuck they want to do for you. Don't protest. I'm not protesting shit. I'm a damsel in distress everywhere I go. This is why men, when I am in trouble, somehow some stranger danger ass nigga pop up and help me. And a lot of times they don't expect nothing from me. So yeah, femininity. That's how it works a lot of times. It's not about being super soft. Sometimes it's just about being able to command without saying anything. It's an energy. It's a mindset. So ladies, if you saw this and you learned something, please shoot a like, subscribe, drop a comment of the most important piece of whatever I said that stuck with you. Take it with you. Take what resonates. Leave the rest. I feel like I spoke about a lot. We went into the history of our dating. But the meat and potatoes of this is the common mistakes. And I feel like we need to just take note of that. Be careful out here. Because again, I feel like a lot of these men are outsmarting women. And we know we smarter than them. No disrespect to the men. I had an older gentleman tell me that, last week, he was like, you are better than men. An older black man. And for an older black man to tell me that, hey, I ain't disagreeing. I do think women are better than men. But I don't think we're better in terms of the ways that they think, that we want to overexert ourselves and just rule over them with an iron fist as they try to do us. It's just that we have better foresight. We have higher emotional intelligence. We mature faster than y'all. All of these are facts that I'm saying. Y'all know it. Y'all been hearing y'all whole life. We're smarter than y'all. Y'all been hearing that too. Even academia, women are outpacing men. So it's like, I do feel like we're better than y'all. We have whole wombs. We're portals. Y'all are magicians. Y'all have wands, but we're portals. So I love y'all still. And I love wands a lot. But yeah, anywho, if again, if you gain something from this, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment. Love you guys. Like it, dislike it. Engagement is engagement. I keep telling y'all, I don't give a fuck when y'all dislike these videos, baby. You still giving me engagement. Peace. Oh, check out the link in my bio, in my description, in my bio, so you can see all things Lovelii.